Hey, would you look at that? Something I haven't done all season long, and I'm doing it right now. And guess what? I'm in my car. Awesome. So yeah, this is the first review of this season, which is pretty sad because we're a couple races in already, aren't we? Several, in fact, plenty. Yeah, well, I wanted to do this, but I never really had the time to ever do these. Especially when I am not in the middle of nowhere, like Kamikaze is. And I'm going to do it just like Kamikaze. Alright? I'm going to be in the car. And, I'm in my car right now. You can see it's shitty. That's all it is. But this year, I'm probably going to, do a couple of these, but it's not going to be as far, or it's not going to be as close as KG's, every week. It's going to be, every few weeks or so. Oh yeah, other than that, let's go ahead and get on to this week. I mean, I watched every race, the whole 3 of them. We got the trucks next week. Finally, they're back after being gone for 2 months. The best series in NASCAR so far, and we get one gigantic break, and then several weeks in a row, and then another break, and then more weeks in a row, and then another break. Scheduling, am I right? And we'll get that these next 2 years, so yay! Great. Yeah, but before I get into that, fucking ARCA got bought out by NASCAR. Enjoy these last 2 years while you can, and then the rest of it's gonna go to shit. Once they release the 2020 schedule for ARCA, it's gonna be hell. Yeah, I don't have a voice, especially after today. I watched the ARCA race. The only thing that was good was the finish. That's it. That finish made the ARCA race the best out of this week because of that finish. I mean, sure, I had no idea who anybody was because I never really watched ARCA in my spare time, but hey, photo finish is a photo finish, especially in ARCA. The Xfinity race, oh god, I'm losing my voice. The Xfinity race wasn't as bad, but it still was pretty lack. It was mostly single file, and then once they started getting clustered together, it was okay. I mean, the race could have been a lot worse if there would have been leeches, but good thing to Fox, and thank the Lord, came a drivers only broadcast. And I have to say, whenever they do that, I love it. That's all I gotta say. Because the commentators on Fox, it's for the Xfinity series, they're not as good as Cup series because they don't have as much fun, but at the same time, they also don't take they're not as good, I guess. But I love the drivers only because they have the most experience and all that. I really enjoyed the drivers only broadcast. I loved it. It made the race more entertaining than the race itself, so yeah. Then we get into the Cup Series. Man, people hated this race, but I didn't seem to really care that much about it. I thought it was fine. I mean, as a restrictor plate race, it probably wasn't as good as Daytona or last year's Talladega. But I thought it was passable. I mean, I've watched a lot of shitty races, especially in the 80s. Oh shit, I just talked shit about the golden years of NASCAR. Come shoot me down, Reddit. Or come shoot me down, anybody in the comments. I don't really care. But, it wasn't as bad. I think it was because I spent most of it screaming at Reagan and DiBenedetto to get in the top 10 and stay there. And unfortunately, DiBenedetto couldn't get a top 10, but he got a top 20, and I think that's one of his best finishes of the year, I think. Well, Reagan got 6. That's good. That's all I gotta say. Good. Fuck yes. It's sad that McDowell couldn't finish the top 10. I want them to do good, but it's always Reagan will do good this week, but then again, McDowell will do shit that week. And then vice versa for the next few weeks. There's never any good, both of them are good, and they're in the top 10 battling for the win. It's never like that, sadly. But it was alright. I understand there was a shit ton of single file in the first stage. To be honest, it was the first stage. You couldn't really make much moves, especially if it's early in the race. I mean, I can understand that. I mean, why the fuck would you want to make 3 wide passes, when it's 2 laps in? Especially when your car is handling like dog shit. Man, people today just did not have good lucks with their cars today. Damn it. Like, the big one happened only because Johnson could not control his car. There was no contact between him and Byron. He just came down and then just lost it. It looked like maybe while he was turning down, some of the tires lifted off, and it's fuck you, bye, because of the speed. It's like a tire went down or something. Fucking Greg Gauldin with a wreck avoidance. David Reagan had 2, which got him that top 10, which was amazing. I think this was the first race in a long time I was actually standing up for the finish, because I was that interested in it. And I understand why people say it was lackluster. I mean, super speedway races aren't usually that great, but I will have to say, even though the finish was pretty not that great at all, I don't think it was that good at all. I mean, Logano won. I don't hate him as much as Kamikaze does, but I mean, I would like to see at least a battle for the lead, but hey, we still got battles for second on back. How about Chase Elliott, though? He went from fucking 5th to just shooting up to 3rd in just one little corner. That's a hell of a move right there, especially with this package. And I don't know, and I can quite understand why they, changed the restrictor plate a little bit because of how McMurray flipped in practice, but they didn't really have to change it that much, but it didn't seem to really change it that much. They were still going 203 down back straightaways when there was a 10-car pack. I keep messing with my keys. I gotta stop doing that. Honestly, other than the single file racing and not so great battle for the win that Logano had, I thought the Cup race was passable for a race. I mean, this year is looking like it's going to be a 2015 kind of year, I guess, with how shitty these races have been. Bristol was amazing, I'll say that much. Richmond was pretty good, even though I was not interested in that much, because I don't like Richmond. I just don't like it. I've seen way too many shitty races. I've stopped caring about it, and now I'm like, wow, this race was actually good, and I wasn't even that interested in it. Fuck. The short tracks seem to be the greatest racing, but we don't go to them as much anymore. We still go to the 1.5-mile tracks. And we go to Dover. I don't know how that's going to happen. I doubt it'll be good, but hey, it'd probably be something. If I could go back through all of this year with the races and stuff, the best race to me would be Bristol. But that's just me. This year has not been that great, although I will say it could be worse. It could be 2000 level of bad. I hated 2000, not because of the deaths, but because of the fact that all the racing was shit. Daytona was shit. New Hampshire was shit. Talladega. I mean, the only reason why that race was talked about is because it's Dale Earnhardt's last win. Fucking the short track action wasn't as good. I watched back that season. Yeah. Like I said, these probably won't come much of the year, because I like to start doing these in my car rather than the fucking room, but all I gotta say is, let's just hope I have enough storage on my phone to keep these going, because I have, no storage. That's why I also don't do it. It's because I don't have much storage left. Thank God I can take away some of the apps and not have, everything deleted from them. Just, make it to where it's not using all the storage. But, whatever. But Chase Elliott got 3rd, Reagan 6th. I mean, it's fine. I mean, that helps it a lot, because I like both those guys. I like DiBarito as well, DiBenedetto, but he still gets a top 20. Could have been better, but he just didn't have a car at the end. But I mean, DiBenedetto's got stuff going for him this year, but hopefully it's a little bit better. But We go to Daytona next couple of months, and then we go back to Talladega. So we still got 2 more super speedway races. So get ready for some more shit racing at super speedways. I'm a fan of them because I like to see the underdogs have more fun than, you know, the more experienced guys. Like, they have a chance to win if at, like, those kinds of tracks. That's the only reason why I like it, is because they have a chance, and, you know, if they get a top 10, that'll be a huge money boost to their team. So, yeah, there's that. I'm going to go ahead and be done here. Man, I don't think I'll have a voice tomorrow. I've screamed way too much this whole weekend. So, the racing, I mean, overall, the best race out of this would have been maybe the Xfinity or the ARCA race. Probably the Xfinity race because it was more eventful, and especially that fucking finish. Wow. There was a lot of drama in the Xfinity race because you didn't know if there was going to be if this guy was going to run out or this guy was. And fucking wasn't Brendan? No. Who the hell was in the 22? Was it Cindric? I can't remember. Whoever was in the 22 and had that final restart should have went down pit road, but you fucking didn't. So that fucking cost you everything. So there's that. I'm going to go before this recording gets cut off for storage. Yeah. Xfinity was the best race. Spencer Gallagher wins it. You know, whatever. Logano wins his first race in a year. So what can I say? We go to Dover, so more shitty race, and I may be able to record a reaction for that next week, but don't hold your breath for that. And I'll see you next time. Have a good one, everybody.